himself. He is presently working as an assistant professor in biostatistics and research methodology in MRCP College of Pharmacy. Sir has completed his B.Pharm and M.Pharmacy in JNTU Hyderabad and the PG Diploma in Bioinformatics in University of Mysore. He was certified clinical trials programmer using SAS 9. So he also handled various projects with the SAS background. So I invite you, sir, to deliver the information regarding the research.
So good evening one and all. Sorry for the delay actually. So I was started early, but anyhow. So without wasting the time, just I will come to the point, right? So you are waiting for a long time. See, what is clinical SAS or clinical trial programming using SAS or SAS clinical? See, this is actually a new field. So you know the clinical research, you are familiar with the clinical research, right? With the pharma background. So already in the B.Pharm and Pharm D also we have clinical research, right? So this is actually the clinical SAS is the research oriented programming. So in short we can say it's a research oriented programming. So for example the multinational companies like the pharma companies, they are doing the research, right? For inventing the new drug molecule which is going to be launched into the market. So you might be knowing the whole process, right? So the new drug is going to be launched in the market. So whatever the documentary work related to this new drug which is going to be launched into the market, right? So first the drug has to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. Understood? So here the whatever the documentary work we can say the research department and the FDA department in between, the connecting whatever the department is, that is nothing but the programming, the programmers or statistical programmers, they are doing the work. So that is nothing but the clinical SAS here. Okay. So in short we can say it's the research oriented programming in the pharma industries, right? Whenever a new drug is launched, right? So that work, that drug actually whatever the documentary work is there, right? FDA is asking some documents, right? See the research data actually, it's a huge data. If you see the research, right? So thousands of pages of work is there. So that has to be sent to FDA. We cannot send the whole research work to the FDA. FDA don't have the time to refer each and every document. See what the programmers they are doing, they are actually extracting the information, research information, and by using the SAS software. So SAS is nothing but statistical analysis software. So which is used, right? So here for the research programming, so by using the SAS software, the information is actually squeezed, we can say. So we are actually what? The summarizing the information, extracting the information. So finally making the final document, right? Producing the reports, graphs, whatever the things the FDA is asking, that we are preparing and submitting the FDA. So one is the research work which is going on, right? And other is the FDA. In between, this is the connecting link, we can say. This department, right? So they are actually designing all the, I mean to say, perform all the analysis on the research document, research data, I mean to say, and finally making it to what the brief summary or reports, whatever the FDA wants in the form of like reports or graphs, right? The tables, all these are submitted to FDA. So that is nothing but a clinical SAS. See our institute ICSP Hyderabad, see one of the top institutes in Hyderabad, we are actually giving online, presently we are giving online mode training, but we have online and offline, both mode of training here in the clinical SAS, right? So we are giving A to Z training, right, in the clinical SAS. So A to Z training is given. What does it mean? A to Z means for the people who are not aware of the programming also, who are from the non-programming background also, they can actually approach, they can join. Understood? So here actually whatever we are teaching, right from the basics, so we are giving the knowledge about the clinical domain, the clinical research, clinical data management, right? All these things we are giving the training from scratch. So whoever doesn't have the clinical domain knowledge also, and whoever doesn't have any IT background also, they can join. Understood? It's a 5 to 6 months course, so it is an intensive training we are giving in clinical SAS. Intensive training is actually here the job-oriented training as per the industrial standards. See, whatever the industry want, so as per them, we have designed the modules. Understood? So briefly, just explore. Just right. Okay. See here, now for example, what exactly, why this SAS programming is important here. So you might be familiar, recently we have the pandemic. We have the pandemic, actually COVID-19, right? So with that, we came to know that still the medical research is lacking behind. A lot of things has to be done. So research is actually ongoing process. Every year, every now and then you can see the new diseases are coming into the market. Understood? So research has to be done. So research is an ongoing process. Understood? So research is an ongoing process. Every pharma industry, big industry, they are conducting the research. They are launching the new drugs into the market. So whenever they are launching the drug here, right, with the increase in actually whatever the new drugs are launched into the market. So with that actually there is a need of, with the research we need a software that is actually used to analyze this research data. See, this research data is actually crucial. It's very important because multi-million-dollar projects are there. People investing, the pharma industry, right? They are investing millions of dollars in the research. See, these data is actually crucial, right, for the industry. They want to use some software which is actually we can trust and that can generate the, I mean to say, the results, right, reports, so perfect accurate results as per the FDA requirement. So we don't want to take the risk because the clinical trial data is actually, I told you, it's important actually for the industry. So SAS is the software, SAS is the answer for performing this analysis. Why we want to use the SAS? There are other softwares also in the market. Like we have R, Python, so many softwares are there. Why SAS? Because SAS is actually one of the old software which has been launched in 1960s. It's a very old software and is actually developed by the US, actually North Carolina University. So here the SAS is established in the market since long time. It is used in clinical domain from long time. So most of the clinical trial industry, they are using SAS. It's a trustworthy software. Understood? And one more thing, it is not an open source software. See, most of the software like R, Python, these are open source. Open source means what? Anyone can write the code, anyone can go into the code, they can manipulate, they can do whatever with the software. But here SAS actually code is written by the SAS professionals. No one can crack the code, no one can actually break the privacy of the data. See, first important thing about the research data is the privacy. It's a confidential data. Yes or no? So here, that's why the SAS is used, one of the old software, one of the trustworthy software which is used since long time, right? And it is not an open source, right? So it is actually having secure environment. No one can break, no one can steal the information from SAS software. So this is one of the actually benefit of using SAS software. Understood? So what the SAS software will do? SAS is a statistical analysis software, right? So this is actually used in the industry. It has variety of roles. You can see here it can perform data management, analytics, multivariate analysis, business intelligence, right? Criminal investigation, and the last actually the clinical trial programming. All these are the we can say the applications of SAS. SAS is not just a software used in the clinical trial industry. It is used widely. It is used in the business. It is used in the financial departments, right? So for a lot of roles SAS is having. See what we are doing in the SAS actually. See, we are reading the data, right? Retrieving the data from variety of source, right? Like from the Excel file, from CSV, from database file, variety of file formats. The data is read into the software. After that, the data is actually manipulated. Understood? The data is actually manipulated, analyzed, right? Generating the results the results, first of all, it can read the, for example, files of variety of file formats, Excel format, it can read the CSV, text format, database format, any file it can read. That is actually the plus point. And second thing, it is a user-friendly interface. See, for example, anyone can learn SAS easily, not like other languages like C, Oracle, there is a lot of code. Here the code is actually user-friendly. Even if you don't know the code, there is a click interface. There are some tabs in the SAS. Directly you can perform the analysis from the software itself without writing the code also. Like SAS Enterprise Guide is there you can write there is no need of writing the code. Directly you can run. So it is user-friendly. Anyone can use the SAS. Anyone can learn the SAS. It is very easy to learn. Understood? And most of the commands code is actually logically they have made the code, so you can remember the code easily, not like complex programming. It's very easy programming, we can say, that you can remember, you can do, anyone can do, and it is also not only just easy, but it can perform very complicated tasks also. The software is easy, but it is actually performing very high level tasks, complicated tasks also. One thing is the user friendly, other thing is what? High end, or we can say we can use the high application part, we can perform the more complex analysis using SAS. So these are the things here about the SAS software. So now going to the next year, right? Why the benefits I was telling about the SAS? So SAS is actually, that is actually points here, right? So why SAS software in the pharmaceutical industry? Why not the other software? Because other softwares are new. They haven't been tested. SAS software is a very old. It is already actually established in the market, and the pharma industry, they are using the SAS software from long time, 30-40 years. They are using the software. So FDA also accepting the reports in SAS format. Understood? And it is user friendly. It can read the file, any type of file. It can perform the complex analysis, right? And the clinical research, clinical domain, in most of the places, it has the applications. Understood? For example, it can help in the protocol development, in randomization process, right? In various phases of the trials, SAS is helpful. Not only just performing the statistics, it is helping in development, for example, like randomization, right? So protocol development. Then we can add also, I mean to say, there is a clinical data management. You can do the data management also using SAS. So variety of roles SAS can perform. Apart from the data analysis, statistical analysis, it can perform other roles also, like protocol development, right? CRM development, right? Data management. So all this, the randomization process, all these are the steps involved in the clinical research. So all these steps can be done using SAS. Other software still they are lagging behind. They are in the test mode. Still they are not completely ready to perform the analysis or research data. So we cannot take risk by using other software like R and other, because they are actually new software. We don't know how they will behave. So that is the benefit of using SAS in the clinical trial industry. Okay. So, and one more thing, whatever the research we are doing the analysis, the output generated is also in variety of file formats. Understood? Like we are reading the files of variety of file formats like Excel, CSV, text. In that way, say the output can also be generated in variety of file formats. You can generate the output in PDF file, Excel file, database file, PowerPoint presentation, HTML format. Any format you can generate the output as per the need. So that is the flexibility in the software. It is actually easily, we can learn, it is importing all type of files, you can perform the analysis easily, the code is easy, it can be used in variety of roles in the clinical trial programming, starting from the beginning of the trial till the end of the trial. In every phase of the trial you can use the SAS, and ultimately you can generate the output in variety of file formats. So that is the reason here the SAS is still one of the actually the leading software in the clinical trial industries. Okay. So here, so now what we have the clinical SAS overview, what we have, right? So first of all, what we are doing in the clinical SAS, just I will try to minimize this one, right? See here, first of all, what we are doing, we are importing the data into the SAS software. First of all, importing the files, I told you just now. After importing the file, we are working on the data, like we are performing, like for example, we are exploring the data, we are actually cleaning the data, we are manipulating the data, we are analyzing the data, right? Processing the data, and finally, we are developing the reports. So this is how the software we can use to perform the different tasks. So after doing this one, finally actually after performing all the analysis, so the FDA want the actually documents to be submitted in a particular format called as CDISC format. CDISC is the actually organization which is designing the standards, which is designing what? Standards like SGTM Adam. So first of all, we are taking the data in the SAS, we are working on the data, right? Like we are cleaning the data, we are altering the data, we are manipulating the data, right? We are processing the data, we are developing the reports, and finally these data is actually standardized. The data is standardized. The standardization is what? The data is finally converted into a proper format which is given by CDISC organization is known as standardization. Why we are doing the standardization? Because this standard is accepted by FDA. See, FDA doesn't want only general reports you are submitting to the FDA. They want in a proper format. Understood? That proper format, the standard is given by whom? CDISC. CDISC organization be given a particular standard. What are the standards here? SGTM, ADAM, and different standards are there. So these data is converted into a particular standard format. Then it is submitted to FDA. So this is a lengthy process. Understood? So statistical programming, SAS programming is a very important role. See, the clinical trial data from the clinical industry till the FDA, the path which it is traveling is nothing but clinical trial programming. Understood? Fetching the data, converting the data into different, analyzing the data, right? Then finally standardizing the data and generating the final reports in the form of tables, in the form of graphs, different types of reports we are generating, and finally it is submitted to Food and Drug Administration. So this is the role of clinical SAS. See, we have in the clinical SAS 3 modules: base SAS and advanced SAS, clinical research and clinical data management, SGTM, ADAM, and TLS. These 3 modules are there. Understood? So these 3 modules are there here. First is base SAS and advanced SAS, nothing but the software knowledge, the basic software knowledge, how to run the software. See, clinical research CDM is the clinical domain knowledge. What is the clinical trials? What is the clinical trial industry? What type of departments, what type of organizations are associated with the clinical trial? That knowledge you will get in the second module, clinical research and clinical data management. The last module, CDISC, I was talking just now, SGTM ADAM is nothing but the final standardization of the data, which the FDA want. Now clear? So 3 modules are there in the SAS programming, clinical SAS programming. First module is the basic knowledge of the SAS, base and advanced. Base and advanced software knowledge. Second module is the clinical domain knowledge. You should be aware of the clinical trials, clinical trial industry, various departments in the clinical trials, various organizations associated with the clinical trials, the clinical terminology. All you are getting in next what? Second module. The third module is the standardization part, where the CDISC organization, they given some SGTM ADAM. These standards are actually required by FDA. So FDA want the final document in which format? SGTM, ADAM, and TLS. That is the final standards, final actually format which is required by FDA. So this is the way we systematically design the course. It is not just giving introductory part which the other institutes they are claiming. We have made step-by-step programming, everything from A to Z, starting from the software knowledge, then the clinical trial industry knowledge, clinical domain terminology knowledge, then the higher standards, STTM Adam, everything we have given step by step process so that you can learn from zero till the expert level. Everything will be included 5 to 6 months course. So after learning this actually the course, you will be able to work in the clinical trial industry as a programmer. This is an internship like program. It's not just a programming training, it's an internship. What's the internship? Internship is what? Like a training. It is a real time training in the clinical trial industry, how the industry is working, how they are actually doing work in the day-to-day life, that we are teaching you. Not just the knowledge part, like introduction part, some people they are teaching, right? Only giving the introduction. That introduction is not enough. So we are giving the high level, actually this one exposure, giving the real time exposure to the real projects also we are dealing with. So after completion of this course, you will be directly able to work in the industry. You are trained, like almost you are having 1 or 2 years experience, like people working in the industry, like 1 or 2 years experience, that much experience you will get in the course itself. Because we will teach you everything, right? From the basic to advanced with the real-time project also. So this is how the clinical SAS, clinical trials programming, right? And it is very important. So what are the scope of this clinical SAS? See, it is required. Why? Research is important or not? See, we have seen the COVID. Now you are seeing some other diseases also coming. Day by day there are new diseases are coming into the market. Every time research is a evergreen field. Yes or no? Research is a evergreen field. So we need every time research, and with the research we need research programming also, because the documents has to be submitted before launching the drug into market to the FDA. So this is an ongoing process. It's not like some computer course which is coming into the market, then again it is gone. It's not like that. See, this course is day-to-day requirement. So we can daily use, for example, in the long time also, it's evergreen course. Understood? And there's a lot of scope. So where we have the scope in the clinical trial industries like big companies, Novartis, GlaxoSmithKline, big companies, they are having the role of statistical programmers. You can search in Google if you have like statistical programmers. So there every time there is a vacancy, and the salary is also very good. Starting itself we have 25-30,000 for freshers, and for experienced people in India itself, they are giving 80,000 to 1.5 lakhs per month. The salary is 80,000 to 1.5 lakhs per month. Is it clear? So this much salaries are there in India I am talking about. What about abroad? See, abroad there is a still lot of demand, because the SAS is a foreign software. It's not in India. It's originated where? North Carolina University, I told you, located in Carolina, is a US based software. So it's a lot of demand is there in US and UK. Understood? Per hour they are giving $90 to $110 per hour. $90 to $110 are the package per hour for the SAS. You can imagine how much it will go. $90 means per day if you are working 8 hours, 8 9 how much it is going? So more than $500 per day. What is the earning here? $500, more than that per day. Per month, it will go $15,000. $15,000 to $18,000 per month is the salary for the SAS programmers, clinical SAS programmer. It's an in-demand course. It's a very fast-growing course, right? So this is actually the clinical SAS, right? So that's why we are giving the training here, and our institute is actually very old institute, almost 10 years. So myself is actually the director also, I am trainer also in the institute, right? So just the madam has introduced me, right? So here we are actually from industry only. We are from the pharma industry with the software knowledge also, pharma knowledge also, clinical knowledge also. So 15 years experience in the clinical domain. I have 15 years experience in the clinical domain. So this institute is running. We have run most of the batches from US and UK. We have the batches from US and UK. So many people they got the job in big companies. Even in the Ministry of this for actually in the US also, they got in the government jobs also in the US departments. Understood? So these are the things here. So any questions you can ask, right? So I will conclude here.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable information regarding the